Hey, so I had my first session with my psychologist yesterday, and it was highly anticipated, at least on my end. And I feel really good about it, and I'm so happy that I did it. And let's walk through it a bit. That's what we're here for, to share the experience. Sitting by a log cabin today, and feels nice. So let's do it. I went in there with some expectations. My expectations were to be able to connect with this person. As I mentioned in my previous video, I was a little bit worried but also hopeful that I would find the right psychologist, and I believe that I have. We made a nice little connection. It's easy to talk to her, and at least in the first session it was, and we'll see about further sessions, but I have the impression that I will be able to talk to her. I opened up a lot. I told you that I wanted to just dump everything out, and I think ultimately what I needed were a couple of things. One, which was just to say say all the things that I thought I needed to say, and I said them. And the other thing I needed was, is this person going to be able to help me? With her expertise match my needs? And ultimately, in the end, she said that she can help me, that I'm not too far out there, which I was worried about being for, a general psychologist. So that was nice to hear, that we can work together, and that she has some ideas on how to help me. And the third thing I wanted to get out of that meeting was a sense of direction, and where we were going to go in terms of what success looked like. And to me, I mean, not that it's so important to talk about these things right away, but I'm very goal oriented. So if you're needing help and you're going to talk to a psychologist, you don't really need to have goals in mind, really. Just go talk to somebody. Lower the barrier to entry. Don't worry about your expectations. Don't worry about your goals. I had some goals because I've been sitting in this and thinking about it, as you guys know, for months. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about were my goals, and my goals were threefold, I guess. I wanted to address my midlife crisis, talk about the things that were affecting me, what I thought were my triggers to midlife crisis, and can we just work through them through talking, through exercises, I don't know. But I wanted to address my midlife crisis issues. I also wanted to address two other things, which were my career identity. When that goes away, and you're, like I said, I'm goal oriented, and when you lose some of that direction, it's hard. And it's hard to find your way back into a situation that works for you, first of all. But secondly, I am finding that my body is telling me that I should not go back into biopharma, or back into the corporate world. I think what my body's telling me is to start my own business, but I don't know what that's going to look like. It's this content creation is, I think, just part of the exploration of what my next chapter is going to be. So it's hard enough to get back into the workforce when you've been restructured, but also it's hard enough. On top of that, it's really hard when you lose your career direction that you've been working towards most of your adult life. And that's okay. I think deep down, if I'm listening to my body, it's okay. I'm a hard worker. I know, I guess I know how to be successful, which is work hard, learn, throw yourself into new concepts and ideas, and be valuable in some way. And I've been able to do that my whole adult career life. So I'm not worried about that aspect of it. But the part that is interesting to me is that my body is saying, you need to start your own business for whatever reason, whether that's finding your purpose and showing up differently in the world, for the world, and also making time for the things that are important to me, which is my family. And anyway, for those of you that have little kids, you know that your time with them is limited at every step of this way. they're not going to be 6 years old forever. They're not going to be 7 years old forever. They're not going to be 8 years old forever. So, I mean, as they progress through their childhood, it just seems like it goes so fucking fast. And I look back and I'm like, where did that time go? Um, so, career identity. So, recap real quick. The one thing I wanted to talk about was my midlife crisis, my career identity. And my third thing is my personal identity. It's something that I don't know that I have been authentic about. And I don't like to use this word very often, authentic. Everybody uses it. It's such a buzzword. But for lack of a better term, I need to find my true authentic self, in the sense that I don't need to prove things to myself and to anybody else around me. I think it's important to have mentors. I think it's important to strive for things that are in your mind successful. But the way that I was going about it is just curious to me, and I don't know why. Like I said, right now, this time in my life, I don't know why I'm questioning these things, but I think I need to, and I'm trying to listen to my body more than my tiny brain. I don't know. So those are the three things that I wanted to talk about, or at least address in my upcoming psychology sessions. And so I think overall it was really good, and I want to address those things, so that I can become a better mom, a better partner, a better colleague, a better friend, a better leader, and that I can show up a little bit better in the world, in my next phase of life, let's say, in my next chapter, in my next act, so to speak. So that was my first session. I cried a lot. I laughed a bit, but I felt secure and I felt safe with this person. And I think that's really important, is to feel safe saying the things that you need to say. Because if I'm not honest, then it's not going to work. If I'm not honest with them, if I'm not honest honestly with myself, then it's not going to work. Then it's just an exercise in futility. So I really want to make this work. I really want to say the things that are hard for me to say. I want to do the things that are hard for me to do. But I'm in it. I'm all in, because I just want to be better. So another tick for crying in a video. Anyway, so I hope you're here for it, and I hope we can do this a little bit together. And this is therapeutic for me to just say these things out loud. So it's a therapy in itself. But I appreciate you guys, and that was my first update, and I'm really happy. So I'll be back with another one very soon. My meetings are going to be weekly in the beginning, and then maybe move to bi-weekly. But I'm excited to talk about the next things with my psychologist. All right, thanks guys. Talk to you soon.